This is the Euro Yen on the 15, and this is a head and shoulders. I've actually been in this for a good few hours. I did all the videos, but I've actually changed my targets. I do believe that this could be the turning point for a big swing on the dailies. So what I'm just going to do is talk through this actual trade. Let's go over to the dailies first of all and talk through this. Okay, so if I put a structure level on, in fact I'm just going to I'll put a structure level on just here. You can see we've got this area here, two areas here as well. So we've got a very, very nice structure level just here. And what we did is we had a break below, close below that level, and then a long wicked candle. But that long wicked candle never came down to the bottom. Typically when I see this type of setup though, we do tend to see more of a bullish move, maybe up to this level, maybe here, before we start seeing the continuation lower because of that big wick. But what there is also is this little structure level just here as well. I'm just going to move that up to there. You can see we've just tapped that, and if we look left we can see that we're still within these structure zones here. And the other thing I'm paying attention to is this. So we've had a test, test and test, and you can look at the market like this. But what I'm paying attention to is right here. Okay, we haven't actually put in a break above, close above. We still actually haven't put in a break above, close it above, and this is just a sign that we're not putting in new highs, and we've now come into this major resistance level. This major resistance level also comes in at the 12600, so it's likely we're going to see a reaction here. If we go to the 240, here the 240, slightly different story in terms of this, but once again we have come up to that structure level. Let's go to the 60, take a look. Okay, here on the 60, this is where we have our head and shoulders. Just let me go back to the 240. Yep, okay. So here on the 60, if we've just come into that structure level, then we have the potential here for this head and shoulders to be quite a big reversal. There's the head, there's the right shoulder, and then we have a break below, close below. There is a pullback here, another break below, close below, and a pullback, and it looks like that we are now starting to make our way down. Now in this type of trade then, I think it's completely plausible that we can get down to this level, maybe for a retest of this trend line. So what I've just done here, excuse me, is I've adjusted my targets, and I'll talk through those in just a moment. What I'll do is just nip down to the 15 and show you my entry. So this little structure shelf right here, we got a lower low, lower close, we came up for a double top and we broke below. So we're moving in trend at the moment here on the 15. We're moving quite nicely as well. Head and shoulders looking, well, something like that. So if we go back to the 60 and we look at why I'm looking at taking target ones at 125.04, just above that psychological number, then this is what I'm paying attention to up here, here, Not too much more. There's a little area here, but that's psychological number. I think, did we have a fib there as well? It's just above a 61.8 fib. And then these secondary targets just here, looking for a retest of this lower level. Now if I go out to the 240, I actually want the closes of the candles. I want to be just above them. You can see here on the 240 that I am actually just above them. So yeah, increase the targets here from about 30 pips to target 1 to, I think it's about 50 now. So let's just draw this out. So the risk, I've got an ATR above the high. The risk was 16. The reward is 51. And secondary targets 100. We're back for the update. Target 1 has now been hit on this euro yen trade for 50 pips. I'm glad that I took a second look at this and reanalyzed the trade. Why is that not deleting? Okay, let's just go and take a look at the 60, just consolidate this a little. Oh, this is how it's looking. Still going to hold for those secondary targets down here based on the 4-hourly candles. And we'll come back and see if we can get them. We're back here on the euro yen. We've got less than a minute until the close of this hourly candle. And as you can see here, we've put in a nice rejection candle. This will be a lower close at this internal level of structure. We are very bearish here. And there we go. What I'm just going to do now is go ahead and sell the market another 50% of my position. And I'm going to talk through why I've actually done that. So just let me, okay, roll a few pips past break even. Okay, so why have I actually done this then? Because on this trade I have already hit target 1s. Well, I have an awful lot of trades where we're in them for a long time and we start trending, because like this head and shoulders here, we're moving quite directional, we're trending quite nicely, and there's absolutely no reason then why I can't, on those very high probability trades that have provided additional confirmation, that I can't go ahead here and basically add to the position. Now in doing that, it does cause, well, it does do a couple of things. The first thing it does is it moves your entry further down. So when you do this, you do need to make sure that your new entry will be above structure and targets stay in the same place. But what it does mean then, instead of this being what was a 100 pip move, which was 50 pips in terms of, because it was half the position, what it does mean now is that this is worth 65 pips. So, but I can only do this when I have a very high probability that the trade is going to continue in my favor. So what I'm just going to do here is drop down to the 15. And we're going to take a look at this. So, let me just remove these orders. This is where we were initially. This was our entry up here. We had a break, we had a new low. We pulled back for an outside return. We had a new low. We pulled back for an outside return. We had a new low. And once again, we have pulled back for an outside return. So trending very, very nicely. Now here on the 15, look at the wicks. We came literally into the wicks just here and rejected straight off that. A clear sign here that we're trending quite up, we're moving quite directional, because the outside returns are only managing to retrace back up into the wicks. But what I did is I waited for additional confirmation. So on the extra confirmation, I look at the higher time frame, and on the higher time frame we had a inverted hammer followed by a lower low, lower close, and this also occurred at the psychological number 12500. So we'd broken past the 12500, retraced into it, saw a inverted hammer, and then saw a lower low, lower close. So still a high probability here that we're going to go lower. So let me just bring back on those orders. Nothing else has changed. I still keep my break even at the same point because we're above this internal structure level here, and it is a case now of just holding the trade, and secondary positions will be worth 65 pips. First positions I banked 25, so in total this will be worth 90 pips if we can get down to those targets. Okay, we're back for the final update, and I've just been taken out here for secondary positions, and as you can see, what a beautiful trade. Talk about your trend. New structure low, outside return, 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 new structure low. If you understand how to read trend, then my god, you made a lot of money from that trade. I certainly did. In total that was 90 pips we banked for that beautiful head and shoulders 2 target winner.